Hare Krishna. All right. So welcome to today's Bhagavad Gita class. It's nice to be back in action after some days without internet in the remote jungles of northern New York State. So let's start with our auspicious Mangala Charan. Om Jnanatirmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. Oh, we need to start a new verse of the week. Well, it's Saturday. Anyways, we can start it and we can continue this one for next week. So we are on the last verse of the Chaturshloki, chapter 10, text 11. So it goes like this. Tesham evanukam partam aham agyanajam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhashvata. I'll do it again. Tesham evanukam partam aham agyanajam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhashvata. The song goes like this. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. I give the understanding, that's my mercy. I give the understanding, that's my mercy. I give the understanding to my devotees so that they can come to me. Die. All right, when we get back to Dallas, we'll put it all together. So now we'll go where we left off on our last class, which was last Friday, so a week ago, which is chapter 14, the three modes of material nature, text 10. So we had started talking about how there are these three different modes that condition people in different ways, and how the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. And what we left off on was how the different modes bind people to the material world. So because, the word guna also means ropes, and the ropes tie us down to the cycle of repeated birth and death, getting one material body after the other. So even though there are three modes, and the goodness is better than passion is better than ignorance, but all of them are binding. They all bind us in different ways. And Krishna tells us exactly how they bind us. He says that the mode of goodness binds us by happiness. When we become happy and comfortable in this material world, then we become complacent and we don't look beyond this material world. We just, I've got a good life. Everything's good. I don't need to worry about God or my eternal soul or what's going to happen to me in the next life. I'm just fine, just doing good, happy. And then, so we become complacent in the mode of goodness. Then passion binds us by fruit of action. It just keeps pushing us to get more and more money, more and more this, a better house, a better car, a better romantic partner, whatever. Just pushing us for material gains. And it's never enough, so we never get free. And then ignorance conditions one to madness. So madness by which we identify with the body. I am this body, there's nothing beyond this body. And so we get totally into like gross bodily concept of life. And so we stay with different bodies, one body after the other, identifying with each one. Okay, so now Krishna is going to move into another slightly different topic about how the different modes compete with each other for who's going to influence us. Right? It's like nowadays everybody's trying to be an influencer on social media, trying to post things and put their opinions and things out there and try to influence other people to think like they think and whatever, for whatever reasons, whether they want you to spend your money in a certain way or subscribe to your YouTube channel or whatever, but they want to influence you. And they're competing with each other to influence you and get you to go their way. So the modes of nature are the same. They influence us in different ways, and they're competing with each other to see which one is going to influence us more. Okay, so let's see what Krishna has to say about this. Text 10. Rajas tamas chabi bhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajasatvam tamas chaiva tamasatvam rajastata. Would you like to read, Aruna?
Yes.
Please.
Sometimes the mode of goodness become prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance, O son of Bharata. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Prabhupada. When the mode of passion is prominent, the mode of goodness and ignorance are defeated. When the mode of goodness is prominent, passion and ignorance are defeated. And when the mode of ignorance is prominent, passion and ignorance are defeated. This competition is always going on. Therefore, one who is actually intent on advancing in Krishna consciousness has to transcend these three modes. The prominence of such certain mode of nature is manifested in one's dealing, in his activities, in eating, etc. All this will be explained in later chapters, but if one wants, he can develop by practice the mode of goodness and thus defeat the mode of ignorance and passion. One can similarly develop the mode of passion and defeat goodness and ignorance, or one can develop the mode of ignorance and defeat goodness and passion. Although there are these modes of material nature, if one is determined, he can be blessed by the mode of goodness, and by transcending the mode of goodness, he can be situated in pure goodness, which is called Vasudeva state, a state in which one can understand the science of God. By the manifestation of particular activities, it can be understood in what mode of nature it's situated.
Yeah. So, yeah, first of all, we need to study these sections in Bhagavad Gita that describe the way the different modes influence us. And then we can understand, right? Prabhupada says we need to understand in what mode of nature we're situated. So, yeah, we can read through these and be like, okay, am I in the mode of ignorance? Am I in the mode of passion? Am I in the mode of goodness? And maybe in some categories we'll be in the mode of Hare Krishna. Some categories will be in the mode of goodness, and then other categories will be in the mode of passion. So Krishna goes through and he talks about food. He talks about what else does he talk about? He talks about knowledge. He talks about charity, austerity, sacrifices. What else? Talks about all different kinds of things in different modes. So maybe, for example, in choosing what you eat, you might be in the mode of goodness. But then in choosing who you give charity to, you might be in the mode of ignorance. So it's always mixed, right? But it's good to try to like understand this. Oh, I didn't know my charity was in the mode of ignorance. I thought I was being a good person by giving money to some homeless drug addict on the street. Right? But it turns out that actually, because that person is just going to use the money to buy more drugs, then you're not helping the person and you're getting inculcated in that person's bad karma too. So we have to have knowledge about what we're doing and not just, be giving our money in the mode of ignorance, being ignorant about who, how, where, and when we give our money. Because all these things affect us also. Okay, so Prabhupada starts off saying that when the mode of passion is prominent, the modes of goodness and ignorance are defeated. So what does that look like? Mode of passion like pushes us to get material things, like lust, all kinds of material desires, with desire for money and fame and sense gratification of different forms. Especially we heard attraction between male and female is driven by the mode of passion. So sex desire and all these things are mode of passion. So when the mode of passion is prominent, then the mode of goodness and ignorance are defeated. In other words, if you have a very strong urge to go and get some material gratification, then you're going to get out of the mode of ignorance. You're going to get out of bed. You're going to, put on decent clothes, especially if you're trying to attract the opposite sex, or you're trying to make a favorable impression on some businessman so that he'll invest in your initiative or whatever like that. So you get out of the mode of ignorance. But you also get out of the mode of goodness. Mode of goodness is like being dutiful and satisfied and doing things properly according to, scriptures and being regulated and things. So the mode of passion will push you to not be regulated, to stay up really late at night, stay up all night, or just, not eat proper meals, just go to some fast food restaurant and, slam something down your throat because you need to keep going, right? It's like a hustle, hustle, hustle. And so you get out of your regulation, and maybe you're being irresponsible. You're not spending time with your family and things like that. You're not taking care of the house because you're just always hustling out there in the world. So that's the mode of passion, how it defeats the other two. Now, when the mode of goodness is prominent, then passion and ignorance are defeated. Yeah, so when the mode of goodness is prominent, then it's like, okay, we're going to be responsible, going to do our duty. Everything's going to be regulated, moderate. We're going to be very sensitive about other people's feelings. But we're going to do things ethically and with consideration for time, place, and circumstance, what's appropriate, right? Like that. And so this push for to do something big, to the urges of the senses, to be rich, to be famous, to be a celebrity, to be whatever, it kind of subsides because you're like, nope, we're going to do things in a nice, smooth, sustainable way, right? We're not going to push ourselves past our limits. We're not going to burn the candle at both ends. We're just going to do things nicely. So then passion goes away, and ignorance is also defeated because you're doing things. You're doing things like, in a slow, steady pace, but you're not just, going and getting intoxicated, or because that's not favorable to what you're trying to do. Okay. And then when the mode of ignorance is prominent, passion and goodness are defeated. So mode of ignorance is just going to make us be like, who cares? Whatever. I'm just too tired. I'm going to go crash out for a bit, or let's go down to the bar. Let's go buy a case of beer and just get drunk and forget about all of our problems. This is too much stress. I can't deal with it. Right? Or, I'm really upset. I'm really angry. I'm just going to go and put my fist through the window. So then, yeah, definitely the mode of goodness is defeated. And even the mode of passion, because mode of passion is like trying to get somewhere, trying to make progress in the material world. But if you're just if all the money that you earn from your work, you're just going to go spend on, drugs and alcohol and obliterate your consciousness and put your fist through the window, then, you're just being destructive to yourself, to your property, to probably other people, to your career, everything. So everything that you worked for, that the mode of passion kind of pushed you to work for, you're destroying. So, yeah. Okay, so there's this competition always going on. So then we have to think, well, what is it? What is it that determines which mode is going to win in this competition between the modes? And what determines which mode is going to be victorious over the other two is the choices that we make, right? So it's like if you wake up in the morning, you're just feeling really tired and lazy and you don't feel like doing anything. And then, but then some thought comes in your head like, you know what? No, I'm going to do something useful today. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to put on clean clothes. I'm going to look decent. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, do something. So then the mode of passion will start to take over the mode of ignorance. and your grogginess will start going away. Some, rush of energy will start coming up because that's the mode of passion. Like mode of passion gives you energy. And then, but then you're just about to go out the door and you pass the fridge and then you remember that, you just bought like whatever, I don't know, like, a 6-pack of beer or something and it's there in the fridge and you're like, oh yeah, actually maybe I'll just grab a beer and this game show is coming on and I'm gonna see, I want to see who is gonna win. And then you just so you just grab a beer and go sit on the sofa and watch the game show. And then before you know it, 3 hours passed, you can't because you dozed off to sleep there. And you wake up and you're just like, oh, it's too late to go and do the thing that I was gonna do. So then so at one moment you chose to do something useful, and the next minute you chose so first you chose the mode of passion, and then you chose the mode of ignorance. So it depends on our choices. So at any moment, that's the thing. So the power is in our hands. At any moment, we can just choose to live in the mode of goodness, provided we know what that means, and that's why we're studying this. We can choose, so we should try to choose the mode of goodness, because obviously that's the best. And yeah, Prabhupada says that although these three modes are there, if one is determined, he can be blessed by the mode of goodness. So it's a blessing, right? If we're living in the mode of goodness, we live a blessed life. But also we have to remember that we can't just stay in the mode of goodness because it's also binding, right? We'll be happy, we'll be satisfied, but we'll also be stuck in the material world, in a better life, but still we have to get sick, we have to get old, and we have to die. So, but the good thing about the mode of goodness, the best thing about the mode of goodness is that it can be like a springboard. From the mode of goodness, it's easy to just jump up to the transcendental platform. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. If you're determined, you can be blessed by the mode of goodness, and then by transcending the mode of goodness, we can be situated in pure goodness, which is called the Vasudeva state, a state in which one can understand the science of God. So yeah, we have to try to work our way up through the modes, eliminate the influence of the lower modes, come to the mode of goodness, and then boing, shoot, jump up to the transcendental platform. Okay, any questions on this? About the modes? So yeah, often it's easy. It's just a question of, what time you're going to set your alarm clock in the morning. If you don't set it at all and you're like fine with waking up at 2 p.m., then mode of ignorance. If you're like, waking up at 8 o'clock and just like drinking a couple cups of coffee and jumping in your car and racing off to work, then that's the mode of passion. If you're getting up at 5 and you're, taking a shower and getting dressed and sitting down and doing some yoga exercises, doing some mantra meditation, chanting japa in the morning, fixing yourself a nice healthy breakfast, wholesome breakfast, and then, allowing plenty of time in case there's a traffic jam or something else, you leave for work and go do your daily business, daily activities. That's the mode of goodness. Aruna or Pragati? Pragati.
Yeah, I was thinking like when we are in a mode of ignorance or something, like sometime if we are not feeling that well and we do not feel like getting up from the bed in a noon, and like we ourselves cannot make this that okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna stand and do some work, like the ignorance is too much onto ourselves. Or maybe we think that okay, I haven't used Instagram for a while, let me just scroll. So like this, all these kind of situation comes in like when the ignorance is into us,
Yeah.
or we cannot get out of that, or we cannot, our mind is not stable to decide that okay, go and get up and walk. What
Yeah.
should
That's why Prabhupada's saying it requires determination, right? We have to be like the night before. Best thing is before we go to bed at night, be like, all right, you're gonna set the alarm for this time and you're gonna get up, you know? And then also, yeah, plan it out. So don't go to bed too late the night before. Don't eat like a heavy meal right before bed. Do something peaceful and mode of goodness before going to bed, like, read a little bit or journal or, say some prayers, reflect on what you're grateful for from the day or something like that. And then you go to bed like feeling uplifted and mode of goodness and positive. And then all those things help to wake up and have that determination to be able to get up and just do what you need to do. Right. But it's like also we get into habits, It's kind of like it's like the way the algorithms work on, when you use the internet. It's like if you're always buying the same types of things, then all the ads for those things will keep popping up for you. Right. So the reason that those thoughts of, oh, let me just stay in bed keep popping up is because we've done it so many times before. Right. So as soon as you're going to do something different, the ad pops up and it's like, hey, wait, you didn't check and see what's on Instagram yet. Remember, you do that every day. What's wrong? Right. So it's about habits. We have to get into good habits and break the old habits. So sometimes, like, yeah, to break a habit requires determination because we're going against, the flow of what we're used to doing. But it's not impossible. It just requires some determination. And sometimes it can help to have like accountability, especially if you're living in the ashram, then it's easy because, somebody's going to be like, hey, where were you at 5:30 this morning when it was time for Mangalarti, right? So then it's good because you're lying in bed and that thought comes, oh, let me just turn off my alarm and go back to sleep. Oh, let me just start doom scrolling. And then you're like, oh no, I'm going to get in trouble if someone's going to like call me out for not being there. So then you get up. So yeah, if we're lacking determination, then maybe we need to put ourselves in a situation where we have some help, right? By doing the right thing. Have someone to keep us accountable. And that's why it's important for most people to work. That's why Krishna said way back in chapter 3, like, don't disturb the minds of ignorant people by telling them to stop working, because then they'll just go completely to the mode of ignorance. So most people, the only reason they get up is because they have to go to work or they're going to get fired. And if they get fired, they have no money. If they don't have any money, then they can't pay their bills and they're going to be homeless. And, a lot of problems come from that. So then it's good that they're working because it keeps them out of the deep mode of ignorance and keep them at least a little bit in the mode of passion. And maybe sometimes they come to the mode of goodness too. So that's good. Gradual elevation. Okay. Alia?
Hare Krishna. It's possible to practice bhakti yoga and be passionate about it, or also use, for example, when you get asleep or fall asleep when you're doing japa, for example, or you feel the desire to dance in a kirtan, or you use, you put a playlist with kirtan to wake up or feel better. That's how create the differentiation between passion in that sense and goodness.
Yeah, good question. So yeah, devotional service is described in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachings of Lord Kapila Dev. He says that devotional service can also be mixed, right? Can be influenced by the different modes. So if you think of any devotional activity that we do, it can also be influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Yeah. Pure devotional service means we're doing it just to please Krishna, right? Like, Krishna, I'm just doing this for you. I have no material motivation. And we do it, we find out what pleases Krishna, what pleases our spiritual masters and devotees. And we do it that way with that attitude. We do it selflessly as a matter of duty. For the pleasure of Krishna and devotees. But then sometimes we do devotional service for other reasons, right? Like you said, sometimes we might want to get up and dance in kirtan, not to please Krishna because Krishna likes when the devotees dance, but because it makes us feel good. Maybe it's good for health. It makes my body feel good. It makes me happy. Or worse, maybe we want to dance in a way that attracts the attention of the opposite sex or something like that, you know? And then it's obviously mixed by either goodness, passion, or ignorance. Yeah. And then, for example, like, yeah, chanting. We can be chanting in goodness, passion, or ignorance. So chanting in the mode of ignorance is, you know, we don't really want to chant. We're just forcing ourselves to chant and we're falling asleep during japa. And chanting in the mode of passion is we're chanting intensely, but we're praying to Krishna for some material thing. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Please let me pass my exam today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Please let this, you know, person fall in love with me. Hare Krishna, or like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Please, you know, let me get this job that I applied for that I really want, or something like that. So that's chanting in the mode of passion. And then chanting in the mode of goodness is like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm such a good devotee. I'm so regulated. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. See, Krishna, how well I chant my rounds. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. How clearly I pronounce your names. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. So it's like, there's like pride, you know, it's like, yes, everything's good. I'm so good. I'm doing everything well. And I'm better than other people. Just see how those other devotees are sleeping during their japa, or they're you know, spacing out, getting distracted, and right. So that's mode of goodness. And then mode of passion is transcendental is, you know, dear Krishna, please engage me in your service. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I'm chanting just to please you, Krishna. I understand this is an item of devotional service that you really like, especially in this age. You're very pleased by anyone who chants. So very grateful that you've given me this very easy way to please you. So please help me to chant nicely for your pleasure. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Right? So that you can see there's a big difference. And you're doing the same thing, same simple activity. So everybody's doing the same thing, but they're doing it with different motivations and under the influence of different modes. And also the same person, one day may be chanting in the mode of ignorance, another day of passion, another day goodness, another day they're transcendental. So we all have our days, right? Every dog has its day, as they say. So, yeah, we all have our days or moments, you know, like maybe some rounds will be in the mode of ignorance, other rounds will be transcendental. It's just, but with every mantra, we're making a choice, right? We're making a choice. Am I going to be attentive? Am I going to allow my mind to be consumed and pulled away by material desires? Or am I going to focus and just really do this as a service for the pleasure of Krishna? Do this for my own purification or whatever. Like, look at our intentions before we start chanting. Right? If when I fall asleep, do I decide to stand up? Oh my God, I'm nodding off to sleep. This is ridiculous. I can't tolerate this bad japa. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to walk back and forth. So that's making a choice. And as soon as we make that choice to stand up, then we get blessed by the mode of goodness. And then mode of goodness is like, yay, good job. Now mode of goodness is going to help us to, you know, be attentive and break that sleeping pattern. Is that okay? Good. Okay, so let's go on. Now Krishna's going to talk about what it looks like when the mode of goodness is prominent. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyad vivridham sattvam ityuta. Do you want to read Pragati?
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are eliminated by knowledge. Purport. There are 9 gates in the body: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, the genitals, and the anus. When every gate is illuminated by the symptoms of goodness, it should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness, one can see things in the right position. One can hear things in the right position, and one can taste things in the right position. One becomes clean inside and outside. In every gate, there is development of the symptoms of happiness, and that is the position of goodness.
Yeah, so these gates basically indicate the senses by which we get knowledge about the world, the senses with which we interact with the world. So when we're in the mode of goodness, then we're using our senses rightly, right? We're seeing things that are beautiful, that are natural. We're listening to music or speech that's pleasing, that's soothing, that's uplifting, that's transcendental sound vibration, right? Like kirtan. Of course, that's beyond the mode of goodness. That's transcendental already. Yeah, we're eating food that's vegetarian and wholesome and healthy and prepared nicely. And genitals are used only for the purpose that they're there for, which is conceiving children and doing that properly within marriage, the right time and place, etc. Anus, that we're our passing stool is regulated, you know, it's healthy and like that. So yeah, even the anus can be illuminated by knowledge in the mode of goodness. So yeah, everything is basically in the mode of goodness. Everything is done right, right? We see things in the right position. We hear things in the right position. We taste things in the right position. Everything is done properly. It's done rightly. That's the big thing about the mode of goodness, is that we're doing the right thing at the right time, the right place. Everything is appropriate and guided by wisdom, guided by knowledge, and leads to happiness. Okay, text 12. Lobha pravritti arambha karmanam ashamaspriha rajasyetani jayante vivridhe bharatarshaba. Would you like to read, Alia?
Yes. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire is hankering developed. One in the mode of passion is never satisfied with the position he has already acquired. He anchors to increase his position. If he wants to construct a residential house, he tries his best to have a palatial house, as he will be able to reside in the house eternally. And he develops a great hankering and sense of gratification. There is no end to sense gratification. He always wants to remain with his family and his house and to continue a process of sense gratification. This is not cessation of this. All these symptoms should be understood as characteristic of the mode of passion.
Yeah. So lobha means greed. So the person in the mode of passion just wants more and more and more. It's never satisfied. And because their greed is pushing them to get more and more things, then pravritta arambha, that they make a huge endeavor. They're always working, always active, always out there, like I said, hustling. And their desires are uncontrollable. So when they get a desire, they can't just be like, all right, I noticed that desire came up, but I'm not going to act on it because I don't think it's the best thing for me, and I'm just going to push it aside. You know, when they can't control, the desire comes up and they need it, they want it, they have to have it, they'll do anything to get it, you know, and it's uncontrollable. And so, yeah, and excessive endeavor. Of course, it's good to do something, you know, we need to be active in the world, but we're talking about intense, excessive endeavor, like just too much, like working 18 hours a day to earn so much money when you don't even need that money, and then you're spending your money on all kinds of things that you don't really need, all these luxuries, and being extravagant and showy, ostentatious in the things that we buy, and showing off how great we are, and still not being satisfied, needing the next thing. So, yeah. Kritika?
I have a question about these modes of passion and ignorance.
Yeah.
Is there like a thing that they can be engaged in the service of Krishna, or that's just like, I mean, it has to be a mode of goodness? Because I heard somewhere like devotees also get anxiety for Krishna, which is a kind of mode of passion. So, is there anything like that, or that is just my mental speculation?
No, that's a thing, but when you're when you're in anxiety for Krishna, then it's different, because as soon as something is actually for Krishna's pleasure, then it's transcendental. Right?
Hmm.
Like if you're cooking and you're in anxiety because you want to make sure that it's really, really good quality. You want to make sure that it's done on time, so the offering is not late or something like that,
Hmm.
then that's not the mode of passion, because it's for the pleasure of Krishna. But sometimes people
Hmm.
confuse the mode of passion, and they think that anything that's like intense endeavor is the mode of passion. But actually,
Hmm.
it's only the mode of passion if you're intensely endeavoring for sense gratification for yourself, if it's like
Hmm.
interested. But if you're
Hmm.
doing a lot of service, like let's say there's a festival coming up and we have to cook a feast, or um, you know, decorate the temple room, or doing a flower outfit for the deities, so you have to stay up all night because the flowers have to be done at night, so they don't
Hmm.
wilt and things. So then that's excessive endeavor, uh,
Hmm.
but or not excess. It's like it's necessary, but it's intense endeavor, but it's for Krishna.
Hmm.
You're not doing it for
Hmm.
your self-aggrandizement. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully you're not like, I'm
Hmm.
gonna do this so that I can the next day
Hmm.
advertise, look at the beautiful outfit that I made and I had to stay up all night doing it because you losers were sleeping. And if that's your attitude, then yeah, it's contaminated by passion and ignorance. But if you're actually doing it for Krishna and you're just really happy to stay up and do that service for his pleasure, then it's not the mode of passion.
Hmm.
Sometimes devotees will be rushing around doing a lot of service and be like, oh, that devotee's so passionate. But he's
Hmm.
only passionate if he's doing it because he's trying to get some material gain out of it,
Hmm.
position or
Hmm.
fame, or name and fame, or money or something.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. See, yeah, with great fruitive activity. Fruitive activity means the whole reason you're doing it is because you want the fruits, right? You want some profit. Fruit means profit. You're doing it for your own profit. Yeah. Okay. Text 13. So now the mode of ignorance. Aprakasho apravritishcha pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivridhe kudunandana. Back to you, Aruna.
When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. Purport. When there is no illumination, knowledge is absent. One in the mode of ignorance does not work by a regulative principle. He wants to work whimsically for no purpose. Even though he has the capacity to work, he makes no endeavor. This is called illusion. Although consciousness is going on, life is inactive. These are the symptoms of one in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah. So yeah, inertia means laziness. So somebody who has the capacity to work, but they don't do anything, they're lazy. That's the mode of ignorance. And yeah, darkness, inactivity, madness, illusion, thinking that we're something that we're not. Basically identifying really strongly with the body. And yeah, we'll hear more about the mode of ignorance. Okay, so those are some of the qualities of these are the symptoms of when that particular mode is prominent. I think madness is also a good one. Sometimes you get like people get, I mean, we feel like we're going a bit nuts. Like the stress is so much that we start going a little crazy, or whatever. Sometimes we just make ourselves crazy. And so that feeling that I'm losing it. Yeah, I'm like I lost control of my emotions, and I've lost a grip on my life, that's the mode of ignorance causes that, causes us to lose a grip and feel like we're just slipping into oblivion, slipping into depression, or like because the mode of passion causes stress, but then when the stress gets to the breaking point, and then we're actually just like, I'm done, and just like stop and just crash and burn, then that's the mode, and we end up getting depressed and overwhelmed. Then that's the mode of ignorance. That feeling of being overwhelmed, lamenting, depression, feeling like life is pointless, then that's all the mode of ignorance. Okay, so now Krishna is going to go to the next thing, which is how these modes determine our destination after death. So this is very important because the soul is eternal. After we leave this body, we're going to go somewhere. And depending on which mode we're influenced by, we're either going to go to a higher birth or a lower birth or something around the same. So we can actually like, just like if you're going on a vacation, you book your hotel. So you can either get a 5-star hotel or a 3-star hotel or a 1-star hotel. Right. So if you get a 1-star hotel, it's going to be, a mess. It's going to smell like cigarette smoke. It's going to have cockroaches and rats, and it's going to be disgusting. And you're not going to have a very good vacation. If you get a 3-star hotel, then, it's going to be relatively comfortable. It's going to be okay, but it's not going to have all the facilities and services. It may not be so conveniently located. So there'll be a little bit of struggle, but it'll be like, okay. And if you get a 5-star hotel, then it's going to have like everything that you need. You're going to be set up, super comfortable, have all the services, perfect location, room with a view, beach right out the front door, or something like that, so you're going to have like a really good vacation. And so like that, we're like planning our vacation, we can plan our next life. Of course, vacation, the analogy doesn't work great because vacation is usually for sense gratification. So we're not planning to enjoy our senses in the next life, hopefully. But we want to have a good life. We want to end the suffering. We want to, realize our eternal, spiritual, blissful nature. So, yeah, if we're influenced by the mode of ignorance, then we're going to go down to like a lower birth, born in a bad family in this world, or born on a lower planet, or born in an animal body where we have no very limited opportunities for anything. Mode of ignorance does that. If we are mode of passion, then we'll probably just, because we're so attached to getting material things, we'll just be born again in a human form on earth to continue trying to get material happiness and being frustrated. And mode of goodness will take us to a higher planet, a higher birth and a higher planet in Swargaloka or something like that, where life is long and comfortable and happy. And if we die in the Vasudeva platform, the transcendental goodness, the spiritual platform, then we go to the spiritual world. So just like booking a hotel, we can make our bookings for our next life, what kind of body we want to get, what planet we want to go to, where we want to live, what the itinerary will be for our next life, for that journey, for that stay, by how we make the bookings is not by calling up the agent, it's by summoning the appropriate mode of nature, right? By inviting the mode of goodness, by inviting transcendence to come and bless us. Then we can improve. Okay, so let's hear about this from the lotus mouth of Krishna. 14. Yada sattve pravidhetu pralayam yati dehabrit tadottama vidam lokan amalam pratipadyate. Pragati?
Yeah. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. Purport. One in goodness attains higher planetary systems like Brahmaloka or Janaloka, and there enjoys godly happiness. The word Amala is significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance. There are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. There are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live.
Good. Yeah, so we get rewarded for living a life in the mode of goodness. Krishna is happy by that. And so we get elevated to a place where everybody's living in the mode of goodness, everybody's regulated and peaceful and satisfied and sensitive to each other and, living a good, clean, healthy religious life and enjoying godly happiness as a result. So that's nice. And also, like we were saying, the mode of goodness is a springboard to the transcendental platform. So in the same way, these higher planets like Brahmaloka or Janaloka are springboards to the spiritual world. From those planets, one easily goes to the spiritual world because they're full of sages and devotees, and you're already in the mode of goodness, and there's no influence of modes of passion or ignorance, so it's unlikely that you're going to fall down, to be dragged down to lower modes, because those lower modes are not so active on those planets. The competition, it's like the mode of goodness won the competition and you're just going with that. Okay, so then how about the modes of passion and ignorance? Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangi shujayate tata pralinas tamasi mudha yoni shujayate. Aliyah?
When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. This is incorrect. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance after his death, he is degraded to an animal form of life. From there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process to come again to the human form of life. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take the mode of goodness and in good association transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status.
Yeah, so most of us here, because we took birth as human beings on earth, we must have been in the mode of passion at the end of our last lives, right? Because we didn't go to Janaloka or Brahmaloka. And we also, fortunately, didn't take birth in animal bodies in this life. So we weren't very much in the mode of goodness or very much in the mode of ignorance, but we were probably in the mode of passion. So we had material desires and we were awarded a body with which we can try to fulfill those material desires. And you see, that's why when kids are born into the world in human form, then they're born with all of their passions from their previous life. So they're like, I want this, I want that. Can I have this? Can I have that? Right? And kids are always looking forward to their birthdays and Christmas when they can get presents and get all the things that they wanted that they never got in their past life or something, that they're like really attached to. So like that. But then we need to elevate ourselves. We have to go beyond just wanting material things and working hard for them to understand the actual purpose of the human form of life. So Prabhupada says, if anyone is actually serious about the human life, has to take to the mode of goodness and from there transcend the modes and be situated in Krishna consciousness. And then we don't have to take birth in this, ignorant, passionate world. We can go back home, back to Godhead. And we also have to be careful not to misuse this human form of life. Because, okay, we're in the mode of passion, but at least we got a human form of life. So we have a higher intelligence. So human beings have a higher intelligence that's meant for using to make the right choices, to elevate ourselves, to inquire, who am I? Why am I suffering here? Why am I always getting frustrated? Why are my attempts to fulfill my material desires never quite working out the way I want them to? And who's in control anyway? Who is God and what is he doing? And, we can start asking these questions. And that's the proper use of the human form of life. And when we start asking those questions and seeking real answers, then the mode of goodness starts coming in and saying, yes, you're asking the right questions. Let me guide you to people who can answer them. And then we will be lucky to meet devotees who can give us the answers and give us the opportunity to jump up into the transcendental platform. But if we don't use our intelligence, if we just keep, stubbornly pursuing material desires, no matter how many times we're getting kicked and burnt and frustrated and cheated, then the modes of nature are like, okay, well, I gave you this human intelligence and you're not using it for the purpose for which it was meant. So then I guess you didn't really want it, and so next life you won't have it. So we get denied the opportunity of higher human intelligence and we have to take birth as an animal. So yeah, but in one sense it's a punishment, but in another sense it's like, yeah, that's what we want, right? We don't want to be a responsible human, especially people who just want to live like animals, like people who make choices like they just want to sleep all the time. So okay, become a bear and sleep 6 months of the year, go and hibernate and be happy sleeping. Or people who want to, have sex multiple times a day, every day. The human body is not designed for that. You get diseases from doing that. But animals can do it. Like Prabhupada would say that the pigeons have sex 20 times a day and monkeys also. There, yeah, Pragati's got the picture. So if you want to do those things that animals are really good at and designed for, then you can become that animal in your next life. So yeah, that's how the modes of nature and karma and everything work. There's super souls in the heart. We were talking about Paramatma. He knows what our desires are. And he's like, oh, well, if that's really what you want, then the human form of life is not the best way, is not the best vehicle for you to achieve those goals in. Let me give you a more suitable vehicle, right? Be a pigeon or be a monkey or be a bear. Or if you want to eat all kinds of things, like people want to eat like all kinds of things and especially meat and things. Human body is not designed to digest meat, right? So human beings who eat too much meat, they get diseases and they need to take all kinds of like, digestive aids and things, and they get colon cancer and things like that from meat rotting in the long intestine. So yeah. So the modes of nature like, oh, well, if you want to eat meat, then let me give you a body where you can, eat meat all day. You can eat nothing but meat and you can digest it really well. And you can kill animals and you got the teeth and jaws for it. And you got the claws for it. And you got a nice short digestive system that just like shoots it out the other end. So then you can be a tiger or a lion or a whatever, a vulture or whatever it is, And if you want to eat roadkill animals, then all kinds of weird animals, then you get a body. So it's kind of like, it's like the powers that be are just fulfilling our desires. And we may not say, I want to be a vulture in my next life, but by the choices that we make in this life, we're showing what we want. So this is all going on. So we have to be very careful that the choices that we make, and we need to be informed, how does a person, the mode of goodness, live? What are the right choices? What are the things that I need to do and choose to elevate myself and not degrade myself? Okay, all right, we're almost at time. Maybe we can just take some reflections here about the mode of 3 modes that we've been talking about today. So today we talked about a little bit about how they bind us, how they compete with each other, what that looks like. Yeah, and then how they influence our destination after death. What do you all think? Pragati?
I was thinking like the last one when you said that, however we end our body, the next So I think like yes, there was like mode of passion, and while we were dying, we might have think of all that I want this, and all those desires came at the end, and that's why we got this human body. So that really makes sense. And now I was thinking, okay, now this time we have to train whole of our life that mind does not go for any desire. And when you said that with every japa, like when you're chanting with every mantra, you need to make a choice. You want to be in a goodness or mode of ignorance or passion. So
Mhm.
that really touched me, because we are not that, like if we are in mode of goodness, then it's okay. Every mantra is good. When in the mode of passion or ignorance, it just goes. We don't even recognize, okay, one round is completed, we recognize after a while. So every, that I really liked, and like it. I'm gonna do this in my chanting, like be attentive with every mantra and be choosing that. Okay, I want to be in the mood of goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Jai. Let's all do the same. Yeah, and try to chant, just clear all the material desires out of the mind and all these unfavorable thoughts and feelings, and just focus on Krishna. Focus on, all right, Krishna, I'm set aside this time for you, and I'm just going to be with you. I want to please you, and let's spend a nice time together here. And I hope you enjoy my chanting, and yeah, just make it very sweet and simple and personal and devotional, right? Devotional means I'm doing this for you, Krishna. This is my offering to you, is this japa, right? Good. How about you, Aruna? What do you think? She's clapping.
It's I was thinking the same, like how our life every day, from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, everything is influenced by modes of material nature. And I was really appreciating the fact, like how that while chanting, we chant every round as an offering to Krishna. And yeah, like modes, it's very strong. Though we try like every day, okay, today we are gonna be in more, like, we are not gonna let this more of passion be in us. Just try to
Mm,
be in goodness, but I don't know how it just like sneaks in us.
yeah,
Yeah, but we are just on the path to just to practice to be stay in mode of goodness. And
yeah. It gets in there and it grows very fast, right?
it does.
Because we indulge in it a little, it's like, oh yeah, woohoo, passion takes over. Yeah. Like 1 minute we're having a nice conversation about some nice Krishna conscious thing in the mode of goodness, and everybody's feeling very satisfied. And then next moment somebody brings up something about, I don't know, some romance or whatever, or some bodily concept of life thing, and then the conversation turns that way, and all of a sudden it just takes over, and before you know it, everybody's just like, oh. Right? Everybody's just feeling like they just got pulled down a little bit. So you have to be careful. These things are very quick. The thing can change very quickly from, a nice, pleasing, uplifting experience to a, kind of like a contaminating, degrading experience. The modes they change very quickly. And there are also times of day, right? There's times of day when the modes are prominent. And that's why, I was stressing waking up early in the morning, because those early hours just before sunrise, mode of goodness is prominent, right? It's peaceful. Uh, most people are just kind of like, the world's just waking up. It's dawn. It's a fresh start. It's like things are clear. The energy's clear. You're feeling refreshed after a night's sleep, and mode of goodness. And then as soon as it gets like after 9 a.m. or something, then mode of passion kicks in, right? Everybody's just, okay, time to do something. Let's go. Get out there. Go to work. Do some, it's hard to do meditation at that time because it's like go, go, go kind of energy. And then later on, like in the afternoon after lunch, then mode of ignorance starts coming in, like, time to take a nap or something, right? You just start switching off. And then the same thing There are times in the evening. Well, this time at night, like the dead of night, that's mode of ignorance. So that's good because mode of ignorance makes you want to sleep, right? So then that's the best time to sleep, is when the mode of ignorance is prominent. So then we can use these things to our advantage. So, okay, mode of ignorance is prominent between, let's say, 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. or anyways, around that time, yeah, middle of the night. And so then let's sleep during that time, and then we're the mode of ignorance is actually helping us to sleep nicely, to sleep deeply. Right? So if we know the science of how the modes work, how these energies are all at play, then we can use them to our advantage to do the things that we need to do. So if we need to do some activity, be very active and work hard and get something done, then don't start it at 10 p.m. All right, do it at 9 a.m. when the mode of passion kicks in, or 10 a.m. when mode of passion kicks in. It's like 10 to 2, do it. And so we can get things done quickly. And if you want to sleep, then don't do it at 9 a.m. Do it at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. And if you want to meditate, then don't try to do that at 3 p.m. when mode of ignorance is also getting in there. Do it at 5 a.m. So yeah. Yes, Pragati.
Like when you said that, if you sleep if you sleep with doing something generalism or some in a good mood, so that you can wake up in mode of goodness.
Yeah.
So I feel very nicely because somewhere I've heard that every time you sleep is like whenever you are dying, it's the same thing when you feel when you fall asleep and fall like dying is the same. So you can practice every night of sleeping in like in a mode of goodness, so that you wake up in your like in a mode of goodness and spiritual world, like you not fall down when you die, and you are like okay, your body gets this practice of sleeping remembering Krishna and
The
Krishna.
time of death.
I am like yeah, like while dying, you remember Krishna because your body has practiced it. That
Yeah.
when you're passing through, remember Krishna.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That sounds like a nice strategy. So every night it's like we're kind of like going into a death-like state, right? So every night before we go to bed, we should prepare, all right, I'm gonna die now. I need to really focus on Krishna, chant nicely, be meditating on Krishna as I drift off to sleep. And that'll be good practice for the time of death. And it'll also help us have sweet dreams and wake up nicely the next morning. Hopefully, if we do.
Krishna
Or if
dream.
we don't, then we can go back to Godhead. Yeah.
They're really nice.
Oh yeah, that is good. Don't we gonna go back to God?
Okay, 5:05. Let's see what everyone's doing out there on YouTube. Oh, we got it's midnight there for Amit. Well, Amit, you better go to bed because yeah. I know. I was just talking about the time and all these people who joined from India, it's like 2 a.m. or something. So anyways, it's the mode of ignorance, but somehow you guys are managing to be in the mode of goodness, our transcendental platform, by tuning into the Bhagavad Gita class. So you must be very special souls. Someone says, E.R. Gautam Gupta says, Dharma means also called responsibility of everything, like a bulb having duty is to give light, like human responsibility is humanity. Yeah, so we have to be responsible humans and do our Dharma, our Sanatan Dharma. Eternal Dharma is serving Krishna. And then while we're in this world, we also have to perform our duties according to our, situation in life. If we're students, our duty is to study. If our family people, then our duties are to take care of the family, earn money, be responsible, take care of the children, upkeep the house, contribute to society, like that. If we are retired people, then our duty is to cultivate detachment from this world, knowledge, serve the Lord, and please Krishna. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. And tomorrow's Sunday, so we won't have class. Now we'll see you on Tuesday. Okay? Oh, Kritika came home. Kritika, you're like here and there, you're everywhere.
Today's Saturday.
Huh?
it's Saturday.
Oh yeah, today's Saturday. Yeah, so that's I was wondering how you all there because you're not working. All right. Well, I hope you're having a nice time. It's good to see you three together.
Yeah. See you here.
Bye. Be there soon. Hare Krishna. All right, we'll see you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.